Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman whom he had married. So pretty much they were, criticizing him, concerning why he would marry an Ethiopian woman, right? She wasn't an Israelite. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. And they said, Hath the Lord Yahweh indeed spoken by Moses? And hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord heard it. Now here, practically speaking, right, or picturing this in a realistic sense, it probably came up in conversation, right, whatever the case was. And as I mentioned here, Miriam and Aaron, right, so she might have been at the forefront of it, being that she received, as we're going to read on down, more of the brunt of it. But, it probably came up in conversation or whatever, one thing led to another. And now here they are, getting at Moses for having married an Ethiopian woman, right? And then as it goes into verse 2, it's kind of like, well, almost as though, who do you think you are? Like, well, you think that, you somebody special, you going around doing X, Y, and Z. And, you're not the only one that's special, right? Like the Lord is also divinely, inspired or dealing with us, right? Moses and Miriam. The scriptures did say she was a prophetess, more so being endowed with the gift of song, and Aaron being a priest. But the Lord heard it, as it says here, and he wasn't happy with it. Now the man Moses was very meek, meaning he was humble, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord Yahweh spake suddenly unto Moses and unto Aaron and unto Miriam. So right away, immediately, he called them, Come out ye three unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out. And the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud and stood in the door of the tabernacle. Now, this doesn't mean that, the Most High physically, right, with his feet, his hands, his body, but more so, it's like where the chariot positioned itself. Okay, they knew, the presence of the Lord was there. And called Aaron and Miriam, and they came forward, or they came forth. So all three of them go there, and then he calls for Aaron and Miriam, and they step forward. And he said, Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and I will speak unto him in a dream. So usually, right, the Lord does speak through his prophets, but even the prophets being the mouthpiece of the Lord, he speaks to them often through visions, right, and dreams that they receive. And he's making a distinction here to say, My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all mine house. So Moses here being a servant of the Lord, right, likening it onto the actual setting of a master and his servant, he's saying in all his house, all his household, of all his servants, Moses is faithful. Okay. And he's saying with Moses, I don't deal with him, just through dreams or visions. No. With him will I speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, not in dark speeches. So what the Lord means by mouth to mouth is directly. Okay. Not through, dreams or through similitudes or through riddles, right, or parables or anything of that sort. He speaks plainly and directly. So most like as if you're talking to somebody, so they understand what you mean, what you're saying. They don't need to ponder upon what was this revelation and so on. And the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. All right, what that means is he's going to understand the likeness of the Lord much better because the Lord speaks directly with him. Wherefore, then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So that, that directly, once again, meaning when the Lord speaks to Moses, he doesn't require an extra layer of deciphering to understand what it is the Lord is trying to say to him. The Lord makes it plain with whatever message he sends Moses. This is exactly what I'm telling you. This is what I want you to do. Then, as the Lord says, wherefore then were ye not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? So knowing, how special he is to me, how then do you just go out here and just start speaking against him, criticizing him, and talking against him? So what if he married an Ethiopian woman? I'm still dealing with him on that level. What about you? And the anger of the Lord Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. So she had that her skin color turned from that brown or dark skin to white, okay, a very light, pale complexion. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. Uh-oh. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, which is to say, I beg of you, lay not this sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. So he is basically, appealing to Moses' mercy, saying, please, don't hold this against us. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And here he's referring to like a stillborn. And he makes that comparison because, a stillborn is a baby that dies, either in the womb, right, or during labor. So by the time they're delivered or whatnot, the baby's not there, right? They're not alive. And what ends up happening usually is a baby's skin, is still somewhat light. Okay, so it's easy for blood to show forth, right? If a newborn baby, if you like grab it by the hand, or you like wrap your hand around it, you can, if you're not careful, like you'll very easily see your handprint, okay, because of their skin. And so one that is dead, that blood circulation stops. It doesn't continue to flow through, and that's why they start to look very pale. And for them as a baby, they look even more pale. All right. So he's making that comparison there because of Miriam's complexion, right? And Moses cried unto the Lord Yahweh, saying, Heal her now, O God, I beseech thee. And the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had but spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? So the Lord was saying here, what I've done to her is likened unto a father spitting in her face, right? For her being, disrespectful, right? As a punishment. And that's a shameful thing. Hence, I've put this leprosy upon her, and she's going to be ashamed for 7 days. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be received in again, right? Like following the law of a leper. So they would be put without the camp in whatever section they had for lepers, outside from where everybody else was for that period of time. Here, for Miriam being 7 days. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. And afterward the people removed from Hazeroth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. And that brings us to the end of the book of Numbers, the 12th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. And until next time, Shalom.